In a 500 to 750 word video analysis, discuss how does Richard D. Lavoie define and explain fairness in the classroom? Well, he basically defines fairness in the classroom is the fact first that each child perceives that the classroom be run with a certain amount of honesty and loyalty. He believed that each child should first be treated with the same respect in which the teacher would like to be or to receive. And he also believed that being treated equally means providing each child with exactly what it is that they need. It's kind of sort of like when you're taking into consideration a child's goals in their IEP. Each child has different goals. Each child has different things that they need to work on. Each child is going to be disciplined different and rewarded differently. And it has a lot to do with who that child is as a person, what drives that child, or what hinders that child. Number 2, what advice does he offer parents regarding fairness? As parents, we cannot allow our children to dictate, first of all, what fairness is. Teaching our children that they will get treated according to their individual needs is very important. I am a parent and I have 4 different children in my home, and each child perceives being rewarded differently. Each child has specific needs at specific times, and it kind of becomes a juggling act trying to figure out, it's kind of like dividing yourself into 4 and trying to be cognizant of each child's needs. A lot of times it's good to show a lot of patience and understanding. And sometimes it's good to put yourself in the shoes of the child, because they perceive things totally different than the way that we perceive things. Especially a child with a learning disability. We may see something or feel, that they are, they're being lazy, or they're not necessarily understanding or trying to understand what it is that we're saying to them. And that may not be the case. It may just be that they can't, and it's okay. You just have to learn how to get them to understand and how to open up their mind to what it is that you're trying to teach them. So number 3, what does it say, or what does he say about assumptions, and why does he discuss them? It is not good to assume that a child understands why they're getting in trouble, nor is it fair to assume that a child would understand work that you put in front of them. Just imagine teaching a child with dyslexia, and you put something in front of them, and they're looking at something, and you're thinking, well, I know you can read, so you should be able to understand this, but everything is all jarbled up. They can't really understand it because words are being splashed all across the paper, or letters are being inverted, and it's not their fault. It's just a part of their disability. So instead, you should try to find a way to get them to understand, and only then will you be able to see the change that it is that you're looking for out of that child. And it says, what are 3 key concepts from the video that were especially meaningful to me? Well, the first thing was, and it also says, and how will they impact your professional teaching practice? Well, mostly I learned the importance of being patient and how difficult it is for a child with a disability to learn and to understand. And as a result of that, I am going to be very mindful of how patient I am with the children in my classroom. and how I try to understand or make sure that they understand what it is that's going on. Sometimes we feel like it's just in our instruction, but it's not just in our instruction. It's also in the way that we manage our classroom and the patience that we show when we're listening to one of our children try to explain something that happened or the way that they perceive something that happened. I also learned that we as teachers are quick to assume that a child is lazy and just does not want to do the work. And that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes it's just a struggle for them to try to understand what it is that we're trying to get them to understand. And that struggle creates a lot of frustration. And it just makes the child want to shut down and not necessarily want to even put forth any effort into trying to figure out what it is that we're trying to teach them. So basically, what I learned is that each child is an individual. And not that I didn't know this before, but I know it more so now. We need to teach the children how they learn. And sometimes it requires that we wear many hats and be quick on our feet and be able to change up in a moment's notice. A lot of times I joke with people and say, you have to be bipolar in this job. And it's the truth. You have to be able to switch up. And, but most of all, just let the children know that you love them, you care about them, and their success means everything to you, because they don't just succeed by themselves. We succeed together.